Do you, Brian,
Yes.
take me, Trey, to be your unlawfully wedded partner, to harass and shoot full of holes in sick and twisted ways, so help you wean us as long as we both sit here?
No, not at all. I absolutely not.
I tried.
Be good humans, be good humans, be good humans, or we will think you suck. Be good humans, be good humans, be good humans, or we will think you suck.
Welcome in, and thank you for joining us on the Be Good Humans podcast.
Yes.
We sure do appreciate it.
We definitely do.
Weddings.
Yeah.
You've had how many?
just the one.
All right.
Just the one.
Hey, it's one more than I have.
Well, that's okay.
Wedding experience. How was your wedding, by the way? Was it huge?
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was large, and for a whole host of reasons. These things do tend to be sort of runaway circus parades at a certain point.
Now, was it kind of typical where all you had to do was show up, or were you involved in the planning?
A couple of control freak writers, like we had it all worked out. But that was actually part of our problem, is because we were control freak writers, we were not necessarily known for our math skills. So one of the issues that we had, believe it or not, was we kept getting screwed up on how many bridesmaids or groomsmen we had.
There should only be like 3 per
Exactly.
side.
You would think.
Right.
You would think. But then we kept like, oh no, I didn't tell you that I had her. Oh no, but I was meant to tell you I had. Cut to, we wound up with 11 groomsmen and 11 bridesmaids.
Oh.
Yeah, it was half the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's the Thanksgiving Day parade walking down the aisle. It took forever.
It was a lot.
Oh boy.
It was a lot, but it was a beautiful day. It was a lot of fun, and even though it was big, it wasn't quite as big as I remember on my honeymoon meeting a couple from Macedonia.
Oh.
This is where I need my son Cosmo with the international relations studies to even point on a map.
Cosmo's here, actually.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But Macedonia, they got married in front of 800 people. It was their entire community.
Wow.
But the plus side of that was that their wedding gift was not just a house, but a fully furnished house, because literally everybody in the community just all went together and went in on our house.
Is that traditional?
I can't speak for the Macedonian people, and I never would. But
Right.
I would just say...
I don't see me getting married in the near future or long-term future, but I might consider it if I get a furnished house.
You must have been, though, I'm guessing, groomsman and best man a million times.
I'm honored to be, best man a lot. There was like a 15, 20-year period that I was like
That's
professional.
an expensive 20 years.
Best man. But for some of them, for the like my closest friends, like Dan, best man twice.
Oh,
for him.
wow.
But I would write, for my closest friends, I would write personalized wedding songs.
Sure.
And the one I wrote Dan, and then sing it either during the ceremony, or if it's not really appropriate, I would sing it at the reception. But the one I wrote Dan it's my favorite, and it's just quirky like Dan, and it's got humor in it, and but it's touching as well.
Of course it does. Of course. Toasts are hard though for weddings. If you've done as best man, I've done a few of those, and those can go sideways fast, like because it's a mixed crowd, and it's kind of a tense crowd. People are. It's just emotions are running high at weddings. And,
there's nothing worse than the drunken bridesmaid.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking she's going to be touching and heartfelt, and she's just smashed, and it goes on and on and on and on. Funny. It's funny.
That can be challenging. I mean, but weddings, yes, they are a great time of joy.
Yeah.
Obviously.
In fact, well, here, let's ask. Do you cry at weddings?
Oh, I cry over AT&T commercials.
I do too. And
but weddings, yes, definitely.
It's usually, especially if I'm close to them. And why would they invite me if I'm not?
Yeah.
But it's usually when the husband starts tearing up, or the groom starts tearing up, I will lose it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I haven't gotten married, because I will. I would actually.
You just won't make it through?
I wouldn't. I'd start bawling.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opinions on why people cry at weddings, so let's ask Siri.
Oh.
Why do people cry at weddings?
Crying at weddings is a natural reaction to the joy and nostalgia of the occasion. This is from wedbitty.com.
Okay,
Well, they
not
know.
sponsored by wedbitty.com,
Yeah.
but interesting. First, interesting that you have Siri do a British accent on your phone. But we'll
I
talk
do.
about that later.
I love that.
But interesting, yes, because it's true. Like these are times of great joy, but like all big life transitions, it's also a time of great stress. Right,
very much
there's
so.
a lot, and even if it doesn't have to be a big wedding like mine was. It could be a small wedding. It could be a justice of the peace kind of thing.
It's
Go
still
down-
a lot of stress, and not just for the bride and groom,
Yeah.
or the parents
Yeah.
or the family.
Yeah.
It's also can be stressful for the accoutrements, as it were, meaning a wedding band.
Oh,
It can be very, very stressful.
Yeah, you can't play the wrong thing.
Right, and in my band I was in, and we would play every weekend. We would play not just weddings, but everything.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to be hired a lot. But on one particular occasion, at one particular wedding reception, I had the worst drumming experience. The worst drumming experience of my entire career
All right,
playing drums.
this must be told.
All right, so have you ever heard of a dollar dance?
No.
All right, this is maybe it was a Midwestern thing, but it's a tradition where all the guys line up on one side of the dance floor, and the women line up on this side, and the bride and groom are on the dance floor. The band starts playing the song of their choice, and one at a time, people would come out and give, like the ladies would give the groom $1, and they do a little dancing.
Oh, okay.
And the same with that. That's a dollar dance.
Sure.
This was like the wedding you were at. It had to have like 500 guests.
Oh my.
Now, that's going to take a long time.
Sure.
And you got to keep playing the song. Yeah. The worst drumming experience I ever had was we had to play Feelings.
Oh no.
The Morris. I never wanted to kill an artist more than I wanted to kill Morris Albert, who wrote Feelings.
Yeah, it's subjectively not a good song.
45 minutes of me playing 3-4 time, very, very slow. Oh God, it was torture.
That's a lot of feelings. That's
I've
a
hated
whole
that
lot
song
of feelings.
ever since.
But see, that's the point. Like whether you are in the wedding, it's your wedding. Whether you're, even if you're in the wedding band, weddings they elevate stress along with the joy, and
they do. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you knew this, and I'm serious when I say it. I'm a ordained minister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my best friend Dan's son, who's my godson Joey, and his wife Emily asked me to officiate.
Wow, if I hadn't lost my faith in the church earlier, it's completely gone.
Hey, listen, I could marry you and Sean right now, and you wouldn't even know it. So it'd be good. But it was very, very special for me to do.
Sure.
But it was funny too, because when you get online,
Yeah.
and you get ordained online,
Of course.
So I immediately timed myself. How long will this take? Because I've heard it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
4.5 minutes. All of a sudden, I'm an ordained minister. I can christen ships. I can do all this stuff.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my mom went to seminary school to become a Presbyterian minister, and you just did it in 4 minutes.
Did it
Wow.
in 4.5 minutes.
Amazing. Well, okay, so the point is, yes, joyful but stressful, and in those moments, you need a lot of support. I mean, not just logistically, maybe even financially, depending on how big the wedding is, but more than anything else, emotionally, right? Yeah, and the sad truth is, not everybody gets that kind of support.
That's so true. That's so true. But all right, here's the hook for our upcoming guests, and we're going to do it this way. As we all know, that the social media can contain a lot of not so good things.
Ugliness.
But as we all know, it can also contain a lot of good things. So when we come back, you're going to meet someone that used TikTok for a very caring, very unselfish, and incredibly noble purpose. And we'll be back with that right after this.
Be good humans, be good humans, be good humans, or we will think you suck.
Welcome back in, everybody. Excited to talk to our guests today. In January of 2021, our guests uploaded an invitation on TikTok The invitation read, if you're a same-sex couple that's getting married and you don't have biological parents there to support you, please let me know. If I'm not available to attend your wedding, I have friends that will. We have a big network, and it just continues to grow all the time of moms and dads that want to be part of your big day.
And joining us from the great state of Tennessee is this amazing person, this very good human, Dan Blevins.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, how are you all?
We are fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, sir. But let's get to kind of the beginning of this. What inspired you? What was your inspiration to post the original TikTok invitation?
Several things inspired me. One being the founder of Free Mom Hugs, Sarah Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
I've been following her journey for a few years, but also being a content creator and just trying to be representation for the LGBTQ plus community. So all those things come together to inspire me.
So you posted this. It goes viral very soon, obviously. And what happened next?
I didn't know what to do next.
Okay.
I was like, what do I do with this? Just reading the comments in that video and just hearing all the different stories, people saying, I want to do this too. Other people saying, I need support. So I started looking at different options to give these people an opportunity to connect, and decided Facebook private group would be the option, the best option.
So part of the inspiration was, as you say, from Sarah Cunningham, who I think is from my great home state of Oklahoma, if I remember correctly. And she had offered through her group Free Mom Hugs to be a stand-in mom at gay weddings. But didn't you also come across another TikTok from a woman named Sarah Declouet, if I'm getting her name pronounced correctly? Who I think was.
By the way, good job on the name.
I tried.
I wasn't going to go near it.
Decoulé.
Decoulé.
Okay. So you also saw a TikTok from a woman named Sarah Declouet, who I believe is from Ventura, California. There you are in Tennessee. Can you tell us about what that TikTok was about and how it moved you?
So I was tagged in Sarah's video several times, and she had just gotten off the phone with her mom, and they were discussing her upcoming wedding, and her mom was just saying, I don't think I can do it. She's not going to be there. And Sarah's dad had passed away.
And her mom couldn't do it because she just didn't agree with.
She didn't agree with.
Yeah.
A lesbian wedding.
Okay.
So she had made a very tearful video because her emotions were very raw. And so I stitched that saying, hey, I have a group and we can help you. So Sarah and I connected and we talked for a few months, and I went to her wedding in Ventura.
So you traveled all the way from Tennessee to Ventura just to stand in for her parents.
I did.
That is incredible. Now, obviously, you can't do that every day. So now word gets out. Word gets out. I'm sure unfortunately, I'm sure there are all kinds of people who would love to have that kind of emotional support on special days. By the way, not just weddings, but celebrations of all different kinds. So you obviously identified a need. You felt a need here, and then you did what a lot of people probably wouldn't do. You went the extra mile to start an organization, which is called Stand in Pride.
Correct.
And I love the name Stand in Pride.
Yeah.
Or Stand in Pride.
Exactly.
It just works all the way around. How does Stand in Pride work?
It works currently and has worked since I think like February of 2021. So 3.5 years now. We have these private Facebook groups, and the original group is Stand in Pride International, but we've branched off into regional groups for the U.S. So if you want to join and offer support, say, I'm here and I would like to be there for you. You just make a post and include some information about yourself, and wait for someone to contact you.
What a great idea.
Well, and when he says people, I mean, at last count,
legions.
We're talking about 100,000 members now.
Close to 300.
300,000 people.
Over 250,000 people.
In over 70 countries as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That is just phenomenal.
There's actually 26 total Facebook groups, but we have members from over 70 countries.
Is there ever any concern about safety?
There is.
Okay.
And we do what we can with the tools Facebook gives us.
Mm-hmm.
Each member is approved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, these are private groups.
Mm-hmm.
They're not public.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go through an approval process to get into the group. And we encourage members to always remember you're on the internet. You know, be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much we can do.
Sure.
So, yeah, that is a big concern. And it's something that we take very seriously.
And Dan, I would imagine that an extremely high percentage of stand-in Pride volunteers become much more than just a special event stand-in, but an honest-to-goodness family member. Would I be correct?
You are correct. The majority of those seeking support from Stand-in Pride, they don't have anything going on.
Uh-huh.
There's no big event coming up. They're just looking for human connection.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons that matters so much, quite honestly, is because at least according to one recent survey from the Trevor Project, which is a organization that provides help and support to LGBTQ plus youth, about 45%, if you can imagine that, of LGBTQ plus young people have considered suicide in the last year. And only 1 in 3 say that they actually find their home to be in some way LGBTQ plus affirming, right? Mm-hmm. So for people like Dan and his group Stand-in Pride and all of those 300,000 people to sort of raise their hands and say, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that just has a profound impact on people.
You started this. You founded this. You created this. I mean, you must, you've been doing it for 3.5 years, but you might have gotten over the, oh my God, but a factor of this. But I mean, this is a beautiful, marvelous, wonderful thing.
It's overwhelming. I try not to think about that too much because, I've talked to people. I did a magazine interview in Serbia. And it's like, why do people in Serbia care about what I think? But it's taken a lot of getting used to. But I'm so proud of it.
Well, you should be, and I'll tell you why people care, just because we all want to feel supported. We all want to feel loved and unjudged.
And I would honestly, if I were, like, if you and I to become a volunteer, which we absolutely can, and we get asked to go, I'd have to do something, kind of funny if the room felt good enough. But I would just say, when I arrive before the wedding starts, I go to the bride or groom and take them in the back room to have a little talk. And I sit down and I go, have you had the sex talk?
I'm not sure that's the kind of support they're looking for.
I can help you. Whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Cut to, they're on the phone to Dan. Can you please get him out of here?
I love what you said in the interview, Dan. These are just such beautiful words. You were talking about Stand-in Pride, and you said, it has changed my life. It's shown me there is so much good in the world I really hadn't seen before. That's profound.
Growing up here, I live in a very rural town here in East Tennessee, and there were no gay people here. And I grew up going to evangelical churches. So everything around being gay was very negative. And I've seen now that the world is much bigger, and that is not the case.
Still, to rise above that din of, the lack of acceptance in certain communities, and by the way, it's not at all limited to the South. It's all over the place. You can find intolerance in every dark corner. But to sort of rise up above that and find a way to still reach out to people and connect people, make them feel supported is really impressive. And I loved a quote from one of the Stand in Pride members from Nashville, I think his name is Ron Brown, and he had this catchphrase that he used to describe his willingness as a member of Stand in Pride to be a substitute dad for LGBTQ plus folks. And he said, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are. I don't care why you are. I just care that you are. And it's that kind of spirit. That's the exact kind of spirit that everybody needs on their wedding day or at their bar mitzvah or their graduation party or whatever.
It's great. And Dan, can you give us kind of a ballpark of, I mean, you don't have to be gay to want to be a volunteer, correct? I mean,
correct.
And what's the kind of the percentage of, are there just, 65-year-old husband and wife that like are very caring and enlightened and wonderful? Are you getting those kind of volunteers?
We have every age, race, gender. I mean, it's a broad spectrum. So I don't really have a lot of analytics to know like the percentages. Because, I just have to give what Facebook gives me. But it's a wide range of people.
Speaking of that, you run your own business there in Tennessee, a hair salon, and a successful hair salon. This must take, Stand in Pride must take a lot of your time. Do you have a great support group close by?
I have not close by, but they're online.
Okay.
It does take up a lot of my time, but being in this industry, I can plan, like right now I'm between clients, chatting with you guys. So it's very flexible. But I've got some amazing volunteers that help me moderate the groups. Because, it outgrew me very fast. So I couldn't do it by myself.
I just wish that I could offer you any work. Obviously, I have nothing for you to work with here, but I love
when bald guys they have the joke.
Yeah,
it's always they're wearing a hat or something. They'll always make sure they take off their hat. Well, I don't know about me.
Yeah, we're always looking for the end there. But you might be able to help Brian at some point.
Yeah, I got to get out of the '80s with my hairstyle, man. I think you're the man for it.
Here's what I have to ask you, Dan, because weddings have a tendency to make everybody get warm and fuzzy and cry for a whole variety of reasons. Are there any particularly warm, wonderful memories that just sort of stand out for you so far, like your go-to memories that make you smile of being there for others in this capacity through Stand in Pride?
The whole process makes me smile and, just gives you such a good feeling. I drove like 2 hours a couple years ago to stand in at a wedding for Keisha. And as soon as my husband and I got there, it was, like we'd known them forever. And their friends just took us in, and it was just like we were family, and we're still family.
That's great.
2 years later. So it's just sharing such special memories with people. And I don't have the words to describe it. It's just special.
You've created something so, I'll use the word again, noble and beautiful. And it's an honor to talk to you. Can you tell our viewers how, if they want to become volunteers or they want more information, can you tell them how to do that?
You can go to standinpride.org. That's our website. You can go on the Book of Faces and search up Stand in Pride and locate your regional group, go through the process of signing up. And once you're approved, introduce yourself to the group. And if you're not a Facebook user, stay tuned because we have our own app.
Oh my gosh.
Coming like in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yes. I can't imagine making it easier. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. One of the biggest complaints I've gotten since starting this is I don't use Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook. And so there was really no other safe option. So I'm like, we've got to build it.
Well, that's fantastic.
So that's what we're doing.
So standinpride.org sounds like the fail-safe way to get involved and find out more information. We will definitely link that on our website,
and
Being Good Humans Podcast.
And the Stand in Pride app is coming soon. That's going to be wonderful. And if you don't mind, what's the name of your salon?
Oh, Natural Beauty Salon.
Natural Beauty Salon. Okay. And if anybody's in your area, please go see Dan Blevins.
Go get your hair did. Dan Blevins, it has been an absolute pleasure to speak with you today. We so appreciate you taking the time between clients, but more than anything, we appreciate you just being there for so many people.
Absolutely. It was a no-brainer for us when we heard your story. We have to get this guy on our show. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed chatting with you.
Be good humans, be good humans, be good humans, or we will think you suck.
He was so cool.
Oh my God, such a lovely person.
So great. He said it's overwhelming. I love that word he used when we asked him, you've got to be so proud of what you created. But yeah, you and I should be... We should do this. We'd be volunteers. We'd be great.
100%. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in, and I do.
Yeah.
All
right.
I think it's a great idea.
Because I love weddings. I've been to so many of them, and as a single guy, I mean, this everybody knows it's pretty typical. But the bridesmaids and if they're single, or some of them even if they're not single, they're emotional. They've been having a few cocktails and. It's
and you're there to offer support.
Well, they made a whole movie, The Wedding Crashers, out of it.
They did. They did. Yeah. No, I really like where your heart is at there, Brian.
Yeah, it was not just, but mostly.
And when I say I like where your heart is at, it might be another part of the anatomy, but we'll save that for another time.
All right. Well, thank you. That's going to do it for today's show.
Yes. Please do us a favor, like and follow and subscribe and adore however you possibly can. Follow us on the socials, Facebook and TikTok and Threads and Instagram, and go visit our website, would you please? BeGoodHumansPodcast.com, where we're not only going to drop a link to standinpride.org, which is Dan Blevins' organization, God bless him, but you have an opportunity there to tell us about the good humans in your lives. We would absolutely love to hear about those people.
When we drop a new show, how do you just listen to it in your car, or because I watch it on YouTube? That's what I go to.
I usually start watching it, but then I also listen because I just enjoy that experience. But yeah, go to BeGoodHumans podcast.com. Tell us about the good humans in your lives. Give us some pointers on how to be good humans. Just follow us, please.
Go enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time on the Be Good Humans podcast.
Yes, and be good humans.
Be good humans. Be good humans. Be good humans, or we will think you suck.
Be Good Humans is executive produced by Brian Phelps, Trey Callaway, and Grant Anderson, with associate producers Sean Fitzgerald and Clementine Callaway in partnership with Straw Hut Media. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and remember, be good humans.